Yo, what is going on, guys? Hope you are well wherever you are, whatever the time, and welcome back to another episode of Why Not Me, Season 3. So, a little bit of a prep update. This morning, woke up at 102.4 kilos. That isn't my lightest. My lightest was actually yesterday at 102.1 kilos, but we're definitely getting down there. I think the last time I updated you, I was around 104, maybe 103. So things are still moving really well. Took a video and ran through a posing round just to see what we're looking like. A little bit more on the flatter side this morning. I think that's a couple of things. One, body weight is obviously down. You're going to get flatter as you're dieting down. It's just inevitable. And two, when you're taking photos and you're fasted, you have no water in you, you have no food, you haven't got your legs warm, you haven't pumped up for anything, right? So this is going to probably be in the morning, and for most people, if you're competing as well, this is obviously some solid advice to you, I guess. You've got to understand that the morning and the fasted look is probably the worst you're going to look. It's usually the first thing in the morning where you look pretty bad and flat, and then right at the very end of the day, you'll be probably your fullest, but also you'll be a little bit more washed out. So I think that's really important to bear in mind. When it comes to physique assessment, you want to be having a look at your physique, especially as you get closer to your show. I don't think it's really paramount for me at the minute. Just start having a look at my body post-workout as well, because that will be a closer reflection as to what I'd look like on stage, where I'd have a pump, I'd have more food in me, rather than just relying on the fasted photos, right? And they'll only get worse as you get deeper into your prep. So again, that's really important to remember. And I just got to make sure that I'm staying on those legs in those front shots. From the side, really happy. A little bit more detail coming through on the glute from the side. From the rear, that's really where I'm holding most of my body fat. Can definitely see that there's starting to be a bit more separation. The hamstrings are getting a little bit more detailed, and there's separation between the glute and hamstring. But that is for sure where I'm holding most of my body fat. Lower back and glutes is really where, and like most people, that would be the areas where you hold a ton of body fat. I think as well, I noticed in this posing, again, I think it's just because maybe I just got up or whatnot, but I'm pretty stiff, especially through the lat. My right lat and shoulder, they're very tight, so I can't open up as much on my right hand side, especially in front lat spread and rear lat spread. Just noticing that I'm a little bit tight there. I do have a treatment on the 7th of March, so I'm going to be getting a sports massage, so hopefully that'll just help iron things out. And I've been doing my mobility as well, just to make sure that I can actually get into poses. Diet wise, nothing has changed. I'd made one change going into prep from my off season, and I haven't changed anything since. My steps have been at 9,000 steps a day still, and cardio is still at 20 minutes on rest days. I will put the macros on the screen because I don't know them off the top of my head. Kind of low, but not too bad. I'm a little bit hungry, but it's nothing excessive, and I don't think I should be that hungry. At this point in prep, I've still got 21 weeks to go until my first show. But yeah, everything's honestly going really smoothly. I'm taking the approach where I'm honestly trying to make as little changes as possible, eke out as much as I can from the current setup, and just not destroy my body through cardio and steps. Because I've done it all. I've done the weighted vest steps, I've done the 45 minutes to an hour of cardio on the Stairmaster, and if I need to do that to get in shape, sure, but if I can get in shape without doing that, perfect. It will save my legs, it will mean that my body's a little bit fresher. If you can get in shape an easier way, or the way that causes the least amount of stress to your body, then you should do it. I don't see why not. The judges don't ask you how much you suffered during your prep. It doesn't really matter, just as long as you're in shape. Training wise, I had a devolume week or rotation. Ran through that, it was all good. I do like to just do devolumes during a prep so that it keeps me in the gym. If I was in the off season, I would just leave the gym. I just would have 4 or 5 days off from training. In a prep, I'll typically try and stay in the gym as much as possible, just to help retain that tissue and keep as much fullness as I possibly can. Returned from the devolume on a Sunday and had a twinge in my knee from nothing, no exercise or anything. I just done my warm-up sets on my leg press. I'd done my hamstring curl before that, my adductor and abductor work, and got off the leg press, and my knee, the front of my knee, just felt really weird and off and painful, and I couldn't bend my knee. So that wrote off legs, which was quite annoying. So I decided to just take an extra rest day. The knee's feeling a lot better now. I've just been doing my mobility, rehabbing it, but it has been feeling a lot better. Really random because my knees have honestly been really good for a very long time. I did have a hip issue, but that's been getting a lot better. But my knees have honestly been good for a very long time. So it was a bit of a random kind of freak thing. It should be good today. I've got legs today, so I'll show you that session and talk you through the session, and also show you a couple of the meals today, but it's not going to be a full day of eating. But yeah, guys, that is a prep update. So hope you're all good as well, whatever phase you're in, fat loss, bulk, whatever you're doing. And I'm gonna have meal one just now and then head to the gym for legs. So meal number one is just gonna be some ground rice, which is 75 grams. We've got 50 grams of whey in there, and we've also got 20 grams of dark chocolate, 90%, of course, and blueberries, 100 grams. And then we got a cup of coffee as well, just as our pre-workout before legs. So yeah, a little bit nervous though for legs, because it's, as I said, the last time I done legs, I had a little bit of a knee pain. It's not been bothering me the past day or so, so we'll see. But yeah, gonna get this down and then head to the gym for my leg session. Oh, I've also got this ready as well, which is my intra workout. Nothing special whatsoever. There's no carbs in it. It's just 10 grams of creatine, and we got some Vimto in there, some sugar-free Vimto. It's a really good one. It's, I think, grapefruit, no, passion fruit, some sort of berry. It's really good. It's better than like the OG Vimto. So that's going to be the intra workout. But yeah, I'll see you for legs. All right, guys, we are back from the gym, and I'm just about to have my post-workout meal. I'll give you a breakdown as to how the session went, but it was incredible. But I'm going to eat this meal first and then just talk you through the session. But for today's post-workout meal, we have 3 whole eggs, 4 we got 4 bacon medallions. We got 1 bagel thin with 20 grams of jam, 1 kiwi, and 20 grams of dates. So that's the post-workout meal 2 of the day. And I'll give you a breakdown of the session, how legs went today after I've had this meal. So post-workout meal is all done. Really good meal. And today was just a very, very good leg day. Very good. I mentioned beforehand, I was pretty nervous going into the session just because of the issue that I had with my knee the last time I went to go train legs. It was pretty bad, and it wasn't even like I was doing anything weirdly or I went for a stupid weight. And it wasn't even whilst I was exercising. It was whilst I was getting up from the leg press, my knee just almost went and gave way. Then I couldn't bend it. So that kind of spooked me a little bit. Obviously going into today, I'd been doing my rehab work, etc. And honestly, for the past few months, my knees have been great. I haven't had any issues. I haven't had to wear any knee sleeves or anything like that. And the rehab has been working really well, just for my hip and also for my knees as well. So yeah, it kind of spooked me. So today I was a little bit hesitant. I took my time throughout the session today. I didn't rush it. I made smart decisions. And yeah, it was a really, really good session. So this is now, it's like the first really successful leg session back after my devolume. The first one was obviously a mess. So yeah, really happy with that. So I started off actually with a warm-up. I've been doing the McGill Big 3 and that's working really well. I've noticed with myself, mobility is obviously not great. I'm a bodybuilder. My mobility is not incredible, but it's not awful. The biggest issue with myself is stability around my hips and my core. That's stability and strength around those areas. Just a huge weakness in those areas is causing a lot of my pain. So that's really what I focus on in my warm-up work. I didn't film any of that, but I've done a bit of a warm-up. First exercise I done was a seated hamstring curl, just because my previous leg day I'd done a lying hamstring curl. It was 3 sets on a seated hamstring curl. I wanted to start off with a hamstring curl as well, because it meant that I didn't need to load my knee in extension straight out of the gate. Again, I was pretty nervous. I didn't want to go to a leg extension or the leg press first and put load on the knee. I wanted to kind of bend and flex at the knee without loading extension. And on 3 sets in total, and hamstring curl was all good. Just still trying to stay at the stack and hold that for as long as possible. So that was really good. 2 heavier sets and then 1 set where we're kind of going for the higher end of the reps, around 15 reps. I then moved on to the leg extension. The leg extension was actually next after this. So after going through my hamstring work and leg extension, this was like, okay, because the last leg day I'd done, I couldn't do a leg extension. Like I couldn't even put my leg underneath the pad to extend. So as soon as I got in, I was nervous, but it felt incredible. Took my time warming up, made sure that everything was in line. So hips, knees, ankles, everything was just in line. And you'll see before I do my set, I make sure that I'm lined up before I kind of sit myself down and back slightly. And yeah, felt really good. Making sure that I'm obviously getting full extension. One mistake I see a lot of people make on a leg extension is you should be failing your leg extension trying to get it short. You shouldn't be struggling here and then suddenly you end up flying the weight up at the end. That means that you still have more reps in the tank. So you'll see as the set gets harder, I physically can't get my quad short. So that's where you reach that failure point. You'll also notice that I slow things down a lot as I get closer to failure to try and compose myself, try and calm down. If I just try and blitz through it, I'm wasting those effective reps, those reps that mean the most towards the end of the set. I'm wasting them because I'm not thinking about them properly. I'm just swinging the weight up. I'm losing that stimulus on my quads. So yeah, but again, like that was kind of the first sign where I was like, yes, my quads are not going to explode. My knee feels good. That was like telltale sign that it was going to be okay. I normally do the leg press before the leg extension, but I put that leg extension first so I didn't have to load as much on the leg press. After that, I moved on to my adductor work and I just done 2 sets on here. The issue with this adductor is the stack is a little bit light. So just to combat that, I basically just slow things down a little bit. And I also take shorter rest times between my 2 sets. So rather than me waiting a couple of minutes, I might wait only like a minute or 45 seconds before I go on to my next set. It just means that I don't need to, I haven't got to work my way into like the 20 plus reps to reach failure, you know? So that was all good. I then moved on to my abductor work. Now this is something that a while back I didn't really have in my regime. Again, this kind of part rehab, part trying to build my glutes a bit more. I think one, I'm trying to chase more condition through my glutes, so you're going to need more muscle there. And also because there's just such poor stability at my hip and a weakness there, doing abduction is going to help that. So it was just 1 set on here and really trying to make sure that I'm taking my time, feel the muscle really well, and make the movement as difficult as possible. So that was kind of my hip work all in one. And then I moved on to the leg press. Now the leg press is where I hurt myself before. So again, going into it, I was feeling a little bit nervous. I was happy though that my leg extension had gone well. And I think that was a sign that the leg press will probably be decent. But still, took my time on my warm-up sets. And 1 plate, 2 plates, worked my way up to 7 plates. Decided to do my lighter set first. So aim for the higher rep ranges there. So I think I landed somewhere between 12 and 15 reps on that first set. Went on to 7.5 plates for my second set on leg press, went well. Went heavier on the second set, again, just to try and save the knees. And also use knee sleeves as well, just as like a precautionary thing. I haven't used knee sleeves on a leg press in a very long time on any of my squats or leg pressing, but I wanted just to do it today to make sure that I was all good and warm in that area. And then, yeah, it was all good. There was no issue, there was no pain. And then moved on to a hip thrust. Again, similar to the abductor, more so for rehab, more than anything, and just strengthening the area on my physique and just how I move a lot more, because yeah, it's weak and it's causing obviously a lot of problems. So yeah, as part of rehab, hip thrusting was there as well, and just on 1 set. A lot of people just murder this exercise and try and load as much weight as possible, but you can see I've only got 3 plates on it, but I'm really trying to focus on squeezing, using only the hips, the glutes, and felt great. And then that moved me on to the final exercise, which is RDLs. Last exercise still, just so I don't have to use as much load, and felt good, but I noticed myself gassing out a lot towards the end during my warm-up sets as well. I was just feeling a lot more tired. So I think a high day is going to go in tomorrow and Saturday as well, because again, like, I'm losing body fat, body weight is going down, but I want to make sure that I'm still performing well and have a lot of energy in the gym at the minute, because I'm still 21 weeks out. So more food will be going in just based off of that, really. Just noticing myself flagging at the back end of sessions. This is the first time I've really noticed that. And I'd understand if it was 10 weeks out or 8 weeks out, but I'm 21 weeks out. So yeah, but overall, really happy with the session. It was productive, it was pain-free, and there's not many better feelings than a training session where you just, everything's clicking, you feel good, you're lifting heavy weight. It's honestly one of the best feelings. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video as well, and I'll see you next week for the next episode.